Question of the Week from the Naked Scientists.
Hello and welcome to Question of the Week. This week we're answering this question sent in by listener Rory, who asks,
I've been wondering, with all these huge wind farms being commissioned, what effect does this have on the remaining kinetic energy in the lower atmosphere? And what does this mean for the weather?
Good question, Rory. As we ramp up our usage of renewables in a bid to combat climate change, our construction of wind farms grows ever bigger. Wind turbines can be over 200 feet tall, with blades not far behind in size as well. Their presence not only slows wind passing through an area, but also creates kinetic movement of air as the blades rotate. So could this affect weather, given that much of weather is just air moving around in funny ways? To find out, I put in a call to the founder of the British Weather Services and author of Weather or Not, Jim Dale.
There'll always be, on a local basis, some kind of effect, a bit like your back garden has different effects for the wind blowing in a certain direction, the sun, etc. So this is very similar, and I think it's such that, yes, there will be some breath of winds blowing. It will create some local disturbances here or there, but I wouldn't at this moment think that it would take it much further than that. I think if you're sitting under these things, you might actually start to feel something that's going on around you, or say on a calm day. But I think in the general play of things, in terms of it affecting the actual weather, I would suggest to you that if it does, then it's probably quite minimal, but yet to be fully determined. I think it's probably the best sentence I can come up with.
Doing a bit of napkin math, it seems that the average offshore wind farm is round about sort of less than half a square kilometre in size. So I don't know how much of a wide-reaching impact that could have.
Yeah, probably a bit more than a butterfly's wings, if you get my drift. There will be some there, just like a propeller of an helicopter. You've got to say that if you're in and around these things, then there will be disturbances, but not to the point where you're necessarily, being bowled over by these things, and it's adding necessarily to the wind velocity on a stormy day, for example. I mean, you see often wind vanes being blown over, broken. I say often, occasionally, when the winds get high enough, or when, for example, lightning strikes, that type of thing. So it's not a complete and utter positive, and in terms of where they stand and what might happen to them, all around them. But at the same time, as I say, the positives far outweigh the negatives as far as we know at this moment in time. So I think we press on regardless.
Yeah, I think you echo the sentiment of someone on our forum called Board Chemist, who says any direct effect will be tiny. The reduction in CO2 might be significant. And I think that trade-off, to me personally, is worth it.
Yeah, in life, generally, there's always a trade-off, isn't there? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And as long as the good outweighs the bad and definitely the ugly, then you're going in the right direction. And that's what science is about. It's good science, positive science is about moving in that direction for the benefit of all. And that's what I think we've got in this case. So long may it live.
So no turbulent times to speak of yet. Thank you to Rory for the question and to Jim for the answer. Next time, we'll be digging into this query from listener Akori.
I was wondering, if I bury a dead animal in my yard and then grow herbs or vegetables on top of the dead animal, would those herbs or vegetables be safe to eat? And does it matter if the animal died of disease? Thank you.
And if you think you know the answer or have a question of your own, drop us a line at chris@nakedscientist.com, or join the many savvy scientific minds on our forum at nakedscientist.com/forum.
Question of the Week is part of the Naked Scientists podcast. Look us up online at nakedscientists.com.